Hola amigos de Mercado Negro, me encuentro en la última edición del Camp 2025. En esta oportunidad Mercado Negro va a realizar una entrevista exclusiva en inglés a Americus, profesor de Wharton School de la Universidad de Pensilvania y uno de los ponentes internacionales de la edición de este año. This year's topic is about innovation and how to explore AI in order to do that. So let's talk about innovation. How can we use AI tools in order to boost creativity?
That's a great question, Rafael. I think that what we need to do is think about AI exactly the way that you're saying, and that is as a tool. And so what we need to understand is that we don't need to just use it just because it's a new shiny object, it's a new thing. What we need to do is understand, how do we take this tool and make ourselves as marketers much more effective, much more creative? And the way to do that is to strip away the work that would be normally done, that would be what we would call the detailed work, that then frees up our ability as marketers to be more creative, because we no longer have to spend time doing the mundane tasks that are required to make the marketing happen. And so an example of that would be in a customization point of view and in creating an experience, to be able to focus on how to innovate in that experience so that we can connect and create more of the deeper relationship with consumers through the use of things like personalization and customization with AI as the tool. But again, the key point here is to not run away with, hey, we just have to use the tool for the tool's sake, but to make sure that the tool is allowing us to be more productive and to be more efficient because we have more time to actually be creative.
So how can companies that are trying to improve their segmentation use AI in order to explore and to be more specific?
I think that the way that market segmentation can be really effective from an artificial intelligence perspective is because segmentation is actually based on data. So we observe and we analyze consumers' responses, their attitudes, their responses to surveys, their purchase behavior in the stores. We can track and capture all of that. The question is, what do we do with that? And AI is a powerful tool to be able to take that data and cluster it in a way that allows us to create more efficient groups of how we would define certain types of consumers. Say, for example, a consumer who is very much price sensitive versus a consumer who's looking for something that's a bit more upscale. So AI allows us, again, from a data analytic perspective, to be able to take the amazing amount of information that we can gather now on consumers at scale and be able to actually process it quickly to be able to identify, well, what are these segments that I would actually like to go after?
Also, does that mean that AI can also predict consumers' decisions?
100%, because if you think about what artificial intelligence is, it's based on these large language models, LLMs, and what it's doing is it's taking the information that's already out there and helping us as a marketer to try to summarize that information to be more efficient. And so when we're thinking about how can I sociologically understand the consumer, we don't have to go through all of that work to be able to compile that information at scale, to be able to start gleaning what is the key understandings that we would like to be able to have in terms of our consumers to create those relationships. AI is going to help us move much quicker with respect to determining what are their needs, their motivations, their reasons that they buy, and things like that.
After we apply those strategies, how can we measure the impact that those campaigns have by using the same AI?
I love that question, Rafael. What we need to do is, this is something else that AI allows us to do. It's the mantra of test and learn. So before, it took too much time to be able to do something in the marketplace and try to observe a key performance index, a KPI, a metric that would say, hey, we're getting the right sort of ROI on this. Now we're able to take AI and we're able to actually do experiments in the marketplace where we don't have to spend a lot of money. We can do smaller, little tiny tests in the marketplace, and AI can help us understand, okay, we changed this lever, what happened with sales, for example, and we can do it much faster now because we're using a tool that allows us to analyze it with more efficiency. And so this notion of test and learn is being very innovative, being entrepreneurial, being creative, being willing to try out things and learn quickly is what AI is going to be able to allow us to do at really large scale and to be able to do it very quickly.
In which way it could also impact in customer experience, but in real time, you know?
I love that question, Rafael, because what's going to happen is consumers are now aware that marketers have these tools. Here's what's going to happen. consumers are going to expect better experiences because they know that we as marketers have these tools. And so their level of expectation is actually going to rise, and we're going to have to actually rise the quality of what we're doing as marketers to meet those expectations and even exceed them. And so in terms of real world, real-time marketing, this is what's going to be sort of the premise that's going to be happening very, very soon, if not already. And it's going to basically determine which of the marketing companies, brands, products, services, organizations are going to be successful, are going to be the ones that are able to take these tools, learn quickly, and then understand what's going on in these marketplaces very quickly with respect to consumers, and being able to pivot and adjust your strategy as you're getting new information in real time. And again, AI is the engine that allows us to actually do that.
Do you think that informal sector could have the same impact?
Whenever there's a new innovative tool that changes the game, usually what happens is there'll be a group of companies that are unable to utilize that tool effectively. They get exposed because consumers will say, okay, they're not very good at this. And then there's a second group of companies that are bold enough to take on these tools in the right way and then elevate what it is that they're doing to a higher level and to do it very, very quickly. So we usually see this sort of, we call it a bifurcation, two different groups of companies kind of going in different directions because of a new technology. And I think you're going to see that with respect to AI, and certainly with respect to predicting consumer behavior. Now, the informality piece is very important because the informality piece is going to be built into the DNA of being able to deliver really well precise customer experiences and meeting needs, because you have this information in real time and you're able to extract the insights from it and give people exactly what they want, almost at a one-to-one personalization level. Now, obviously you don't want to go too personalized, too informal, because that can be a little creepy. But again, you're trying to find that sweet spot between I'm giving you something that is uniquely yours, but also I'm giving it to you at a cost-effective way in terms of what I'm trying to do as a marketer in terms of building my own business. So we're going to see all of these different influences combined and really create a completely different landscape in terms of what's going to be happening with respect to marketing and technology and the people actually doing the marketing themselves. Even as a professor in my own institution, I'm pulling in these tools because I'm remarketing education to students in very different ways now because of these tools. And so, yes, this is going to be a revolutionary milestone type of moment, because these sorts of tools are only going to get better as we go on, because the inputs, the information that drives them in terms of their efficiency is going to get better and better and better. And our ability to prompt them in the right ways is going to get better and better and better. So the learning curve is going to be immensely exponential. And it's going to be exciting to sort of, as a marketer, to watch how all of these different changes affect not only the customers, but the businesses. The entire fabric of the marketplace itself is going to be wildly changed because of these kinds of innovative tools.
Thanks for the interview, Mr. Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Rafael.
Amigos de Mercado Negro, así termina esta entrevista exclusiva en inglés con Americus Reed. Conmigo será hasta una próxima oportunidad.